Good evening, everybody. Awesome to see you. Get my camera up here. There we go. Hope you guys are having a great evening, and hopefully you can hear. Oh, Bruce, thank you. So you can. I was just going to ask. Hopefully you can hear me okay, and I'm glad that you can. I see that we also have some friends over here on YouTube stream that we're kind of simulcasting to. So this is fantastic. Looks like that is up and running as well. Good to see you all over there, and hope everybody, as I see we have more people joining here, that you guys are doing great. Bill and Kim, Bruce, Camille, I think that's how I'm saying that correctly. Clarence, Maria, Patty and Matt, Rebecca. It's good to have you all on. And like I said, looks like we have some more people on. So good to see all of you as well. Hope you're having a great week. If you're a guest tonight and you are checking this out, somebody thought enough of you tonight to invite you to a business preview. And I'm just your host this evening. My name's Ken Woods. I'm actually coming to you from South Florida, a little town called Jensen Beach on the east coast of Florida. Just, let me guess, about an hour north, 30 to 40 minutes north of West Palm Beach. And beautiful evening here in South Florida. Hope wherever you're located that you are doing great and have wonderful weather as well. Tonight, we are very fortunate to have an incredible guest presenter, a wonderful gentleman by the name of John Ramos. He and his wife, Marcela, have been building this particular business for many years. Marcela is involved in real estate. John has had a variety of positions in different companies. Here he is right here. John, how you doing? And excellent. So he'll tell us a little bit about his background, but he has done a variety of things, and it's always fun to bring him into these discussions. He has run businesses of his own. He has helped run other people's businesses. He has done a variety of career fields. And in fact, right now, if I'm not mistaken, he is involved in helping if you think of that like this, most of the people that are joining us tonight have two things going on in their life, at least two things. They have a plan A and a plan B, right? And sometimes people's plan A would be maybe their day-to-day job, their career, and then they are running this business on the side. Some of them permanently because that's just all they're looking for. Other people are doing this because they are trying to run something on the side until maybe it can become a full-time gig for them. And John is one of those individuals who has always had his hands in a lot of fun things. And as you can see behind him, one of those things is music. But John will correct me if I'm wrong, but he does some training and education in the area of foreign exchange with some products that he helps represent.
Yep.
And so he does all kinds of stuff. And with that, John, why don't you jump on? I don't want to keep babbling. And
it's okay. Hey, thanks for having me. It's always an honor, and I know it's a pretty big mission to be here because there's a lot of responsibility, right?
Yeah,
a lot of things that we do, and I appreciate the team, you Ken, and my line of sponsorship that is Tato and Patsy Lizardi, and you guys are straight right there. So that's all my upline right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let me throw up your slides, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself. I'll hang out here off to the side, and if I can help in any way, you
jump in whenever you want, man.
All right.
So, like Ken said, how you say that? There's a saying, master of all trades, and what master?
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
It's funny because I think the good thing about that is that it's like you said, I never stopped looking, right? I always looking for something else that could help me and my family. My trick is, as a matter of fact, Camely's there. That's Camely, by the way. That's my daughter in New York.
Oh, okay, Camely. There you go.
And she's there watching us on the TV, she says. Because now, we have two grandkids, right? We have a grandson who's 2 years, and the other one is about 6 months in a couple of weeks, I believe it is, in March 16. And we're looking forward to see them that weekend over there in New York. So we're excited. We're in a different stage, Maricela and I, of life, right? And I think like all of us, we go through these stages of roller coasters up and down economically. I always tell people, listen, I've been rich 3 times and poor like 10, and seriously, yeah. And anybody who has our age bracket, And I know you're a little younger, Ken, but I'm the last of the baby boomers,
Oh,
1960.
really? So you're right
Yeah,
at the edge,
I'm at the end. At the
right at
end.
the end before you're a Gen Xer.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I was reading an article about this, how the baby boomers are the least of the generation who is ready for retirement.
Hmm.
That's spooky.
It
And,
is.
and the reason for that is because I think only like 20% of us really have enough savings for retirement, because we have taken the burden. I say we, not so much in my case, but probably in part, but we have taken the burden of not only carrying the generation we bring under us, but the generation above us.
Hmm.
And it's happened. I have the fortunate blessing that my kids, since an early age, they learn how to do all kinds of things. Yeah, I told them, I thought they saw it by us, my wife and I. When Maricela was out of a job, she was selling jewelry, and I was helping her.
I
And
remember that she turned a hobby
for business,
into a business. And
yeah,
you know what? For those who have never seen her work, she makes I have one sitting right next to me in my backpack.
yeah.
She makes some beautiful stuff.
And she does, and that was something. Funny enough, that was something. That was the second time that she had to do this, because the first time the economy hit us and put us down the drain. I will say this way: it was think it was in 2001, where she had to leave her job for many years, and I had to leave my job, and I had to go on my own. And for 7 years, and I'm going through this. I think I'm skipping above, because I'll talk where we come from. This is part of the history, right? Um, we had to make sure that we always reinvented ourselves, right?
Mm.
And even though we've been in this business plus 20 years, we had the fortune that in a
Oh, wait a second. The microphone hung up on something. No, it's like doing a weird echo. I don't think it's on my end. Let me hit mute on my side. Oh, there it went. It's gone. Now it's back. Yeah, it's a weird background noise. So we'll see if that fixes it here. Thanks, Bill. Nope. Unmute yourself again. Talk. Okay, I don't hear anything yet. But I don't hear any weird noise. That was strange too, because you were just talking normally and then it like went into some kind of like reverb or something. Thanks everybody for your patience. I'll keep filling you in on John's background, since now he won't be able to. Nope, not yet. All right, I'll keep talking for a second. So I think that's an interesting point that you make, John, because um, that's something that many people are hesitant to do. I have to be honest, it's kind of scary to think about having to reinvent yourself if you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s or your 70s. If you're in your 20s, you're pretty resilient still. You don't you Yeah, you may have some responsibilities, but you still feel like you're on top of the world. As you start to get older, I can see how people start to get stressed out with all the responsibilities that they have. And I think that when you talk about having to reinvent yourself or having had to reinvent yourself a couple times because of things that were outside of your control, that is that's a reality that people are facing today. And I'll get started on this as you're fixing this, and then you can jump back in. But what I see is that people today are looking to live on their own terms. They are looking for a way to beat some of the drama that and some of the pressure that they're feeling.
Can you hear me now?
I do.
Okay, perfect. I had to change microphones. It's incredible because I invested a lot of money to have this kind of audio device, and I've been having some glitches with it lately. So anyway, so yeah, reinvention is something that I think we learn, and honestly, I learned it in the business um, over the years. All the books, the seminars, the association gave us the confidence, though. Even moved from Puerto Rico to here with nothing in our back, and we started building what we build, and so far, thank God, we're in a position now that I think we could look at retirement and the regular retirement a little different, right? But it can be very scary, and one of the things that I do, since you mentioned that I do some things, I teach people, is that I do teach people through a company that I am, a privately held company, how to invest in the foreign exchange market. And I bring that to this moment because people think that even doing that, it's a way out, but they don't realize how much risk and how much money they have to invest.
Sure.
And compared to what we're going to show you today, I think this is the best solution. People don't get it. This
Well,
is Go ahead.
you know what, John? Any kind of investing today, whether you want to invest in, and I tell you, um, well, I won't skip ahead to any of the slides. But what I was going to say is anything you want to invest in. If you want to invest in real estate, if you want to invest in a traditional business, if you want to invest in futures, in stocks, in forex, it takes a lot of capital.
It does.
And if you want to borrow money from a bank because you have an amazing idea, what I hear from my friends who are in traditional businesses, the banks love to lend money to people that have a lot of money.
Yep.
They don't want to lend money to people with good ideas. That's not what they're in the business of doing.
Yep, that is true. So let's talk about this. Living on your own terms. What does that come from, right? I think this is a great theme, a great, I will say, not a theme, a mission, right? Or vision, where we can determine the things we want to do, when we want to do it, and how to do it. And the cool thing is that you could start in a very little fashioned way, but because the way this business leverages, you could be in a great position in anything from 6 to 9 months, 3 months, 1 year. It depends, and really the effort. And the cool thing is that you're not on your own to do this. So, what's the new standard, right? Is being independent, working from anywhere. Thank God. In a way, thank God for COVID. Really, and it sounds weird, right? But if it wasn't that, if it wasn't for COVID, I remember coming back from a skiing trip with my oldest daughter in Breckenridge and my son-in-law from my oh my God, Justin, Justin, and we were in Breckenridge right before COVID hit, February of 2020, and we happened to finish that and we come back. We went to New York and I came back to Florida. I was the first guy they sent home from my company. They say, hey, John, we don't want you here. Basically, that's what they said. Wow. I was the first person to, it says, why? Oh, because this COVID thing, you were in New York. And you know what? You're doing me a favor, man. I can work from home anytime. and I was the first employee to be here working from home. So I already knew what working from home was because of the past, like I was saying, the business carried us for almost 6 years combined with the jewelry business, combined with some of the 401k my wife had. We were able to sustain ourselves for 6 years because we could not find a job, period. We were overqualified. We were really well paid back in the late 90s, early 2000. Then the economy hit how it hit. Then we had to start looking. We had to reinvent ourselves. My wife went from a company of servicing, Sears. Let's put the company of Sears and growing in there and doing what we have. And we had the cars and we had the houses, and then we had to go in bankruptcy. Okay, and then have nothing, and then the credit starts building up. My kids are witness of this. And one of the things I think my kids, they see in us is the resilience that we have of not giving up, right? Because
Hmm.
most couples, when they go through this situation, the first thing is to blame each other for what's happening in life, right? And divorce, and then that comes a what's the word? Repercussion, no, repercussion of things, of people who follow up. I guess they failed or whatever it is. They want to think. But when you have the stamina, the mental stamina, and the mindset of understanding that you have a vehicle that could help you focus and help you achieve things that you want, there's no reason why not to do something like what I'm showing you right now. And everybody right now is working from anywhere. Anywhere. The coolest thing about this business is that, I was looking at the chat right now that we have a general chat in iCommerce. That's what this stands for, right? Micro
Hmm.
iCommerce. And in the chat, I this is hours ago. Somebody was talking to somebody and saying, "No, I got this chat because there was a guy from Dominican Republic who showed me the business, but I didn't know where to go. So I remembered this link. So I'm finding out who is a person." And I said, "Listen, no worries. Go ahead and find the person. Or if you want to come here, check it out. We'll find who the one who invited you. If you still went, great. If not, we're here to help you." So what I mean with this is these are people from all over the world.
Hmm.
And when you have a business like this, that you could be your own boss and do the things that you own at your own pace, and this thing that we're talking about, capital, is so insignificant, right? I think that's why some people don't take it seriously, honestly, right? Because if this would have cost you to start $10,000, you would take it a little more seriously.
It's true. You'd feel like you really have serious skin in the game.
Yep, that's right. And you'll be surprised how people, with little or lot, also will take that as an excuse, right? Oh, I invested so much, I want to learn this, but they get overwhelmed. And it's kind of interesting. Human beings, we are a complicated mind, right? Because
Yes.
there's a saying in Spanish, "Bogo si lo hago o no bogo si lo hago." It's like, shame on you if you do it, shame on you if you don't, something like that. And it's like, where do we start? How do we do this? I think that the biggest obstacle that people have when they start any kind of opportunity is really having the line of people that have a vested interest in that you succeed, right? And even the ones that don't have a vested interest in this arena, I've seen people caring for other people for you to succeed. That's amazing. Okay. So whether you're doing the side hustle, look, this is very popular, right? Doing the ride share. My niece in Puerto Rico, she's not doing the ride share. She's doing the one of the meat, when you take food to people.
Yes. Yes.
And that's kind of like a ride share, but just for taking
Yep.
delivery.
Delivery.
Yep. Vacation rentals, lots of people are into this. There was a big downfall when COVID hit. Now it's time to pick up again. Freelancing, people doing their own things. My daughter does independently some works if she wants to do them as an interior decorator. So, that's what she's majoring in, and that's what she likes. And people find these things to do because they need to make some kind of money, but it's really not that easy and simple to do, right? What do you think about that?
Can I jump in on
Yeah,
something?
yeah, go ahead.
So I read this article today that 70% of people, they did, and somebody, I think it was CNBC or somebody, did an interview of 1,000 people. So 700 out of 1,000 said that they were 70% are looking for extra work to combat inflation.
Hmm.
So, that's just, of course, because of the crazy prices of things going back and forth, up and down. But it's like there's this move toward more flexibility and freedom in what people want to be able to do to earn money. There's this integration now because of technology and other stuff for side hustles to be more popular.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's this greater need. 70% of the people surveyed said they would like to figure out some ways to make some more money. So it's very interesting what's happening right now.
It is, and I think that is, it's in the heart of a lot of people. Not only it used to be back then when we started the business a while ago. People will say, "Yeah, I always have this in my heart that I wanted to build something," and other people will say, "No, I went to study, had a career, be 30 years in a job, and that's it." But then you realize with time that the average person now it's in a job no more than I think 3 years. Okay, I broke the record recently. I've been there in 5.5 years in my last job, which is unbelievable. I think it's been the longest job I had in my life. And I'm not sure if it's probably my age. I'm going to hit 59 this year, Ken.
Wow. You don't
59.
look it. You don't look
Thank
it.
you.
You look
Thank
good.
you. And when you think about those numbers, you go, what I'm doing different to make things happen because I want to retire, and I want to retire with dignity, right? Not
Mhm.
with this situation that I don't want my kids to take care of me because why? They got their own kids to take care of. And but if they ever want to volunteer, I don't mind, right? Right. And so it's like the part that we try to do our best. But the side hustles are start, right? The question is independence. People want desire for more. They want opportunity for extra income, and they put some skin in the game. And it's funny you say that because you mentioned about skin in the game, right? Um, if you don't have some skin in the game, it's kind of like you don't really think that you're doing something. I don't know. It's like for some reason there's like this idea that the more you're risking, the more serious you have to take this business or
I,
any
I heard
business.
I
Sorry.
heard one study talk about John that talked about people are more concerned about loss actually than gain.
Hmm.
That yes, we all want to strive for something and we have things we want to look forward to, and that's an important part of why we do things. But if you were to hold something out in front where you said, what would you be willing to do this for this $20 bill? Or if we gave you the 20 and you didn't do something, you would lose it. People respond to loss. So there's something to what you're saying about the skin in the game. Skin in the game is important.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
reality, right? You can't do anything in life without having to put something into it.
Yeah, and you're right because one of the things that happens in my job is that when people start with us, um, there's a kind of a guarantee if you don't go through it, you have your money back, but they have to invest more than 45 hours proving that they were trying, you know.
Mm.
And when they do that, then they realize, let me stay in here because I already invested $4,000 or $5,000 to be here, and that's what people pay just to get started. That's not counting their broker account. Um, so thinking about that, the difference in this business is that you don't have to go through that situation. But if you understand that this is a business of leveraging yourself, something that you cannot do as a human being in a regular job or business, and you see that and you get the vision of it, you realize it is the probably the simplest thing to think of, right? It's not an easy business because it's not. It's not. I'll be dying to you. And it's not because the business is hard. It's because we as human beings are hard. You know, we as human beings, we have all mental situations that are going to to our lives that we think we don't have time. But then you look to the side and all of a sudden you have two grandkids. Huh? You know? And you say, what? I have two grandkids? How that happen? And and that's when you realize how time is flying so fast in front of you that you better start doing something sooner than later, right? And if you do it later, that's okay. I'm going to jump through some of these, but the emphasize side, the hustle, always on the road. Yeah, people who are really, think about the side hustle. It's cool, but it depends on you, right? It depends 100% on you. And the day that you get sick, you probably can be on the road, right?
Yep.
The day that you're sick, unless you have real estate, which is probably the most passive income you could get. But you have to, like you said, invest a lot, and those are things that not everybody has that blessing to do that in that time. But this money is hard to sustain. Here it is. You see, that's another one. Yep. Some of the people who are doing these side hustles, they're finding out that they're cutting off and some of the money they were earning before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening a lot. And they feel overworked, really, and they don't feel that they're getting what they deserve. Here,
Because
when I
there's
start,
only so much time in the day,
that's
right?
right, that's right, that's right, that's right. So, what can we do different, and how can we change this? And then, you live in trying to start living in your terms, not in the terms of others, and that's when you start looking for things like that. Here's something that goes here: hustle harder is not the goal. It's a great one. You're right. You have to hustle smarter. Hustle smarter, not harder. And when you start doing that, you might see something different, right? Anything you want to build here? Ken, anyone you contribute there?
Yeah, I would say that if you know that if there's this thing, right, whether you realize it or not, called the independence equation, and what it means is that um, you have this one side where you have your goals, whatever they are, whether it's retirement or earn some extra money or create a diversification with your income, whatever it is. And so we'll call that independence.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know that you're going to have to put some skin in the game, right? You're going to have to, um, you obviously have a desire for more. You wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be even looking at something. But you have to have an opportunity that will work with your busy life, because let's face it, most people have that. So in today's world, what is missing out of that equation? And the reality is that equation is not really complete until you add the word control.
Mm.
What people are looking for is the ability to kind of have their cake and eat it too. They understand that they don't want to just hustle harder,
Yeah.
that most people are tired at the end of the day, but yet they still know they need to figure some other things out if they want to create a little more security in their life, or maybe reach their goals faster, whatever it is. But they're trying to figure out, well, what kind of business can I do that is relatively low risk? Can you help me get past the idea of trading, time for money or hours for dollars, and where you can hit some of the sweet spots of what you talked about, John, which is, having the flexibility maybe to work from home, or not have to be, for instance, tied to a normal side business where maybe you're just in front of your computer doing freelance work, or you're behind the wheel of a car doing ride share or something else, or you have to have a ton of money in order to have other investments work well enough for you that you can make that leverage work for you. People are looking for kind of this on your terms business, and that's what we brought you on here tonight to talk about what is that.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me take a step back here and talk about having your own business. And listen, guys, I've been there. You probably a lot of you've been there. I remember there was a time in Florida when I didn't have a job. I lost my job in 2001. I started doing a cartridge business, a laser printer cartridge business, and I built that business from zero ground to almost $10,000 of revenue every month, which is not bad, and almost 85% of that was leftover income, was income on my own terms. Right? Let's put it that way. But it was me alone. I did the marketing, I did the repairing, I did the refilling. I bought the product that I had to use. I had to do everything. I was sniffing toner through all my nose. It was crazy. Yeah. If you check my
But it
lungs,
worked
yeah, it worked. But then
until it didn't.
that
Until
was
it did.
until it didn't, because before .com started hitting the road and being more accepted for e-commerce on online, people started buying stuff. Um, Even though I was providing a product at 50% less than what the office supply companies were doing, right? The internet cut me almost 50% because people started seeing a different way to get the product, right? And I go, oh my gosh, what I'm going to do now? I either have to produce more, right? Because it was going down. And then when I started to had to do something else again. So I didn't have control. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have the control of really saying, yeah, let's build it this way now. And I probably could have, but I had to invest a lot of money, which I was not in the position to do. You see? And those are the things that happen in the traditional business. But when you see something like this, that you put a little time and you start expanding to people who will have the same needs or goals that you're searching for, and as a team effort, you could do more and start leveraging yourself. That's when it sounds really, really a good business. And this is where you find people who have developed this correctly over the years. They earn a pretty good living. And some people say, well, but that's because they've been so long doing this. Not really, because I know people who've entered to this business 10 years after other people in this business who've been building it. And because they build the right structure, okay, and expansion, they've been able to earn 2 and 3 times more than the people who've been there longer. So it's not so much of being the first one. I think it's you being the person who makes the difference, right? And starts expanding in a structural way that will help you. So would you rather hustle harder, or would you live on your own terms? What would you like to do better, And that's when we're coming in for. Look, you still make money with other side hustles, but relying on inconsistent algorithms, always depending on your ability. That's true. Leads you right back to where you started. Just like what happened to me with my cartridge business. I had to start all over again. Where do I go from here? I didn't know what to do. So either that, or you could go where you are in control. That A stands for Amway, right? And let me just go right here. So what is Amway? Amway, it's funny. I got to say this. I got to tell you the story. Today's what? Today's Thursday?
Yeah.
So my wife have moved to a different company. I didn't tell you this. She just moved from a construction company that builds homes in Florida, one of the largest, is a publicly held company. And she got an offer after that. She had the situation she had in her heart. Remember I told you? Yeah. And 2 days later, somebody called her out of the blue of one of the privately held builders in the state of Florida and in North Carolina, and they offer her a job without an interview.
Wow.
And it's because she's doing what she's doing good, right? And the word goes out. And the day before yesterday, they invite us to go to the Amway Center to watch a game. Now, that's cool. I've done that before with you guys, right, Ken?
Yeah, that's fun.
You know where I was sitting, Ken? I was sitting in the outside line, in the court.
Oh, courtside
right
seats.
There, in the court, not side, in the court. I could put my leg. I have a picture of my leg stretched out, and I'm putting my leg over the outside line in the middle of the court. Okay, I got it. I got to show it to you. I got to send it to you. Anyway, so the reason I say this is because I was there looking at something, right, that I'm passionate about, basketball, and we had the opportunity to really experience something different. That's cool. But imagine you having the opportunity that when you get to a point of building your business, like Ken has done, and a lot of people, the leaders have done, and going to these events without paying a penny, right? And having the experience to enjoy life in their own terms by using things that you already use, by selling these products through a website that you get, because this business is really simple, guys. You get in with a kit or without a kit. I know there's something going on new soon.
Yep.
But you get in with a license, if you want to call it that, and you pay a fee, a very low fee.
$78.
$78. $78. I renew. I remember. Yeah, $78. Yeah, and it's only and it's a website, right? And that website, it's yours. You don't maintain it. They maintain it. You even could get the app when you're inside the website. I think this is the most incredible thing, right? Because when I'm here in my website, I go to my website, which I'm not going to tell you the name of it. It's johnframos@yahoo.com. I mean, like johnframos.com. That's what it is. It's my name, and that goes straight to my website of Amway, right? And what's so cool is if I'm interacting with anybody, and all of a sudden they see me drinking one of these, right? Which is
Okay.
there in the picture, the energy drink, and they taste it and they like it, and they tell me where can I get it. All I have to do is go to my website. I put here excess right drinks, excess drinks. Hit enter. I look for the drink or the case of the one I want. I share it. I go here and I share it, and I send that link to the person, and I can share it either via SMS, copy the link, however I want. And when they get the link, they click, they're buying from my website. That's true e-commerce, guys. And the mobile phone, from the phone. This is the most expensive thing I think you carry with you every day. Your phone. I'm not sure. You probably have a Rolex. I don't know. I don't have a Rolex, but this is probably the most expensive thing that you carry on yourself all the time of an item. And it's a vehicle. It's a machine that can produce your money. Why not? Why not share that? Why not share if somebody sees you doing this and they ask you what is it? You say it was a refreshener. Hey, try it out. Boom. I like that. How can I get it? Here's a link. Boom. You send it. So that's what we do. The most incredible thing about these products is I love them. It's 180 days satisfaction guarantee. Listen, in my last order, I ordered the pre-wash for the spray pre-wash for the clothes.
Yep.
And for some reason, I think they packed it wrong and the nozzle broke. I'm not sure what happens when you buy products like that from other companies. They probably put in doubt what you're saying. Really? Did it broke? Hey, I call in. Hey, my last order, it came broke. Oh no, so sorry, Mr. Ramos. Let's send you another one. Thank you. That's it. That's what I like about this kind of backup that you have. Not only that, in the 20 plus years I've been in the business for the third time, because I've been in this business 3 times. Okay, last time has been 20 years now. We have never seen a check or a bonus not be there. In the job I have, sometimes they say, hey, we're going to be delayed in our commissions. I go, what? What do you mean? We may already make the money. Not here, buddy. Not Amway. So you have a business that you have a full turnkey operation that you can promote. Listen, the new thing. People are not sure, you guys, younger guys, I'm not sure what age group we have here, but I already, you know my age already. The number one thing that I think most senior citizens or medium, whatever, I want to call myself senior, I still feel very young, I'll go through is not able to sleep well. That happens. I guess the older you get, the less you sleep. Listen, I finally heard Ivan Jr., Jujo, he talk about this combination: sweet dreams, no filter sleep, and stress less. I take 2 of each. I go like this, and I leave sleep for 6 hours. I get up, and that's it. I don't know what you got to do, but these are products that I love. My kids use them. My daughter, it's probably one of our best customers. She buys her products every month. And she doesn't know, but I put something on the side for my grandkids. But and she's doing that. And then I have my old daughter. I think she's here, Gianna. Oh, there she put and Gianna. Look, Gianna's there, by the way. You know her. Yes, you too, sweetheart. I know. She just purchased some products too. So, and they use these products every day. So,
and you know what's great about it is you don't ever worry about the quality.
No.
You know that what you're putting into your body from Nutrilite is going to be great. And so not only do you have that Amway promise, that 180-day true satisfaction guarantee. They want to make it right if there's an issue. But the reality is, most people never have to take advantage of it. Yeah, maybe Jen and I do the same thing. If there's a problem with a smashed shipment for some reason, they'll make it right. But you don't send stuff back because it
Nope.
doesn't perform as advertised. Things
Nope.
work great,
Yep. Even though
and
they have
that's
180 days guarantee, money back, they say it right there. I never had to return a product. Uh, I,
and
I
it's certainly a lot easier than one of your past businesses, dealing with a toner.
definitely.
And here you've got 350 plus products in what, four major product lines. You've got sports nutrition, which you're clearly a fan of with the excess energy drink. You've got regular nutrition like supplements and vitamins. Right, there you go. You've got skincare products with artistry, and you've got personal care and home care. So there's five lines right there.
That's right. It's funny that you mentioned those because that's what I brought out. I brought the double X. I've been taking double X for over 30 years. 30 years. Omega. It's funny. True story. 2 weeks ago, I was at my mom's house. I said, Mom, do you have any Omega left? Yeah, sure. I never out with my Omegas and my vitamin C. She just told me just like that with an attitude, I said, sorry, because I just ran out of Omega and I needed to get. You ran out of Omega? It's like, okay, Mom. It's funny. So I make sure I get my Omega soon, But anyway, these supplements, I think, are part of the reason why I feel the way I feel sometimes. Even though my personality is a personality that people say that I've always been cheerful, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, Knowing that I feel good with myself, even though I have to lose that weight that I'm always battling with back and forth. Other than that, I feel great, man. My daughter is always making sure, Dad, are you taking your vitamins? Dad, are you exercising? That, and it drives me nuts, but it's good because they care, right? They want to
Mhm.
make sure that I'm there for my grandkids when they are 12 and 15 to go skiing with them. And that's one of the biggest motivations I have. Now, one of my biggest motivation in building this business is to really have that extra time and extra income so I could take these vacations with them and not to worry about how much it costs us, right? Because
Mhm.
the best thing that you could do in life is create memories with the ones you love. That's it. There's nothing else, guys. Houses are good to have and cars are good to have. They come and go, but memories, they will stay there until the last day of your life. And I think when I build this business, I'm choosing my own way to build it so I could have that time. Listen, when you get into here, you're going to choose a specialty if you want. You set your schedule. You grow at your own pace. Nobody's going to push you to do what, when to do it, how to do it. You could do the old way of one customer at a time, transaction, always on your own, nobody supporting, or you can have recurring customers, building the relationships and building a team. And that's what make a difference because that will contribute to the growth of your independent business and conglomerate business. We support you in your journey, right? Um, Regularly, you watch a video and then frequent ask questions. Over here, no. Over here, you have, look at that. Rising tide lifts all boats. Everybody else. Support from Amway. Scale up opportunities. Mentorship. You win, we win. Remember I told you about the having it. What's the word I used a moment ago? Sometimes I forget the words. Um, a vested interest. You win, we win. Right, and that is the way to build businesses that are sustainable. I will say reliable and long term, being part of your life. Um, it's funny. Ask yourself this question, guys, and this is for everybody. Ask yourself if doing what you're doing right now, it's really giving you the 100% satisfaction that you like of life, right? And if the answer is yes, then then you probably don't have to do this, or probably you just want to do this because you like the products. But if you're looking to do something where you could feel that there's some purpose involved, something that will feel that you're contributing to not only your success but the success of others, this is definitely the place to be. Because there's nothing better than you seeing that people could change for the positive not only economically, but in the way they live their life because of the association, because the books we read. There's a book I like really a lot. I don't think some leaders have read it. It's called Feeling is a Secret. It's a very thin book from Neville Goddard. Um,
What is it again, John?
it's called Feeling is the Secret from Neville Goddard. Okay.
Okay.
This doesn't come through the line. Okay. You
Yeah,
see,
no, no, I was just wondering.
but this book I have shared many times with Tato and I. We have read it, and a lot of people around Tato have read it. It's a really interesting book to read. But all these books, what they do is they open your mind to have to develop the skill set because you're dealing with people. Sometimes I feel like I'm a psychologist. Like,
True.
not only in this business.
I was just going to say, it's, you know what? I think part of that is if you find yourself in that position, it's because you've earned the right to speak into people's lives. And so people come to you and they talk to you about things that are, if they were easy, they'd fix them on their own.
Yeah.
But because they're complicated, they look to people who have some life experience and that they trust, and they say, can you help me think through this?
Yeah. Yeah. And you could tell when people are needing that. And if you ask the right questions and they give you permission, because it happens to me a lot in my regular job too. I go in and said, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? I want to know where you're at. And they, yeah, sure. And when I ask the questions, they go, oh, shoot, I never thought about that, It says, well, this is the reason why these other things should be done, right, in your life. And this business is like that. If you could find the reason why people need or want what they want, and what does that really mean to them? If you could be in people's shoes, Tim was a master doing that. Tim Foley will always. We learn from him that you have to be in people's shoes to know what they're going through, and you have to really ask the questions, and the questions that will help you understand where they're coming from, so you could have a way to really give that support to move to the next step. But what do you want? Here, the independence equation revisited. Opening for extra income, make 100,000, 1K or more. Oh, here it is. The average income of a platinum level was level and below. So that's those things you can read later. You could tell that. I always tell people, you can see all these numbers, right? And people see these numbers and say, oh, they only earn that. But that's the average. Now, what I found in this business, that a lot of people who are building this with the right structure, they're a little over the average in this business, really good. That's the potential. It's not a promise. Nothing is guaranteed, guys. Okay. That's the potential. The potential of this business is really unlimited. And when I say unlimited, it's unlimited because I've seen people of all ages, all walks of life, all backgrounds, do this business in different levels and different times and different eras, let's put it that way. And they've been able to overcome, and some of them not. And into that little thing, that mindset does like this twitch. It happens, But the independence equation here is $76 annual registration fee. Now it's 78, I think.
It might be 76.
Yeah.
Maybe I was wrong. And I said
zero
70.
purchase requirement. You don't obligate to go buy things every month. No minimum sales. 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything you buy. The products are there. Definitely, if you want to qualify for different incentives, there's some goals that you want to set up to get to those to that position, right? But you control how many products you have. Listen, I have very few. When I say very few, I'm talking about 20 products in inventory, and it's because they're products that I use, and before they run out, like the Omega, I try to have them, and sometimes I forget. But it's not like before in the old times that you had to, or you probably needed to have this big inventory. If you want to have an inventory, that's your prerogative, because probably you're the kind of guy who likes to go with all the gatherings, and and give products away, or let them try it, or sell them right there, because you still have the hustle mind of doing that. That's great. Do it. Because that's just going to mean that you're going to have more products to move and more people to ask for it. And your team. I think the most important thing is that to understand that you come alone in this business, but you're not alone, right? You have a team that will guide you in the process and in how to achieve certain goals. There are a couple things that we talk about, the eight steps of success. And this on the back of it has the Daily Dozen things that I believe that was Tim who created the Daily Dozen, right?
Yep.
Years ago. These are things that are really good to keep on mind because they help you focus and help you really go through the process of changing. I'm gonna finish with this little story. Let me see if I remember the story. There's this guy who was about to jump from a rock, a really high mountain to the ocean. Right? Basically, it's a big cliff. It's a cliff, and he was just hanging out there, and things were going bad. He lost his job. He has 3 kids. Money was short. He didn't know what to do. He was going to lose a house, lose his car. I'm telling you, everything was happening at the same time. And he was going to jump from that cliff. He was going to end this. It was the easy way out. And this old man saw this guy up there. The guy was like in his 30s. And saw this guy up there. And the old man is looking at him and says, makes sense to him. And he goes, and the guy, who's this old man? What do he want? And the old man is probably in his, and I say old man, I shouldn't say old man, because the guy was like almost in his 60s, right? Or 70s. He was like in 70s, let's put it that way. And finally, the old man climbs up the cliff and says, what are you doing? He says, who are you? I says, I'm just a man who cares, I says, what do you care? You don't know what I'm going through. I says, listen, whatever it is, I'm old enough to understand that you can overcome it. And he goes, well, if you want to know, I'm about to lose my house. I lost my job. I don't have enough income to pay. I'm going to lose everything. My wife is going to be suffering, and I've got to just jump and get rid of this pain, And the guy said, let's do something. I says, what? Happened to be that I have a few, $1 million available. And he goes, really? He says, yeah. Let's do something. I invite you to a race. What do you mean a race? Let's go down to the ocean, to the beach over there, and let's run 100 yards. And if you beat me in the race, I will give you $1 million that you think that will solve all the issues, all the economic issues. He says, sure will, but how do I know it's true? Why would I lie to you? So the guy listens, comes down, and when they're going to start the race, and there's some people, some witnesses, the old man says, wait, before I start, on 72 more or less, let me have at least, 50 yards in advance. And the guy says, what? Yeah, 50 yards in advance. And the guy says, okay, I still could beat this old man. So on your mark, I said, wait. I think that 50 yards is too little. Can you give me another 20 yards? And the guy says, come on, man. Yeah, and tell you what, and I'll go backwards. I will run backwards, the old man says. And he goes, you're going to run backwards? And I'm going to go, yes. Okay, and your mark, get set, go. And this guy starts running, and the old man is running. And the old man is running backwards, and he gets there right one step before the guy. He wins. The old man wins. The guy says, no, but that's not fair. Blah, blah, blah. Why you did that? He says, you know what's not fair? Is that what? What? While you keep on living into other people's terms, you'll never reach the goal that you want, the terms you want. And basically, that's what happened in life. We start living our lives in the job terms. No, but if you don't go at this time, no, you don't understand. My boss said this, that. Says, well, that's your terms you want to live. You live that way, guys. I'll be very honest, when I was in my job and this one recently, they told me I had to go back to the office. You know what I said? I said, then I guess I won't be working here. I says, really? Why? It's because you guys are moving farther away. I'm going to be 50 miles from the office. That's almost 3 hours a day. That's almost $1,400 more expenses that I'm going to have between car, food, clothes, gas, tolls. You don't pay me enough for that. Guess what? I'm still working from home and I'm still living on my own terms. How do you want to live? That's all I got to say.
John, thanks for sharing with us tonight, giving us a lot to think about. Appreciate your insights, and see, now we know why people come to you for advice, because you've got things to say, because you've lived life. I love it.
We all go through life, and thank you for having me. Really, I know it's a responsibility, but guys, really, all I can say is every day that passes is a day less that you have, right? And every time, every hour, and I say this to myself, because when I talk about you guys, I'm talking about myself, right? We normally say the things that we don't want others to go through because we don't want to go through it. And I'm looking forward to really just have a business bigger than ever and live more in the terms that I want, right? Because I cannot leave my job tomorrow, honestly, right? I can't do that. But I'm still living on my own terms because I'm working from home. But I have to keep on building this business to a point that it just gets to that point that you can say, yes, I can do whatever I want. And the opportunity is there. So God bless you guys.
Love it. Thank you, John. So if you're a guest tonight, what I would share with you is take to heart some of what John shared. Get back with the person that invited you so that you can get some of your questions answered. This was clearly just an overview, right? This is something where there, of course, you're going to have a lot more questions about how does this work? How's the money made exactly? Tell me more about some of these products, all of that. Get back with the person that invited you here. Get some of your questions answered. Sit down with somebody over a virtual cup of coffee, or if even better in real life, go get a cup of coffee together. Next Thursday night for our team, we will not have a business preview like this. Instead, we have a special session with the Amway Corporation at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry for all of you out in California. It'll be 5 p.m. California time. That will be on Thursday night in English. And Amway is going to be sharing with us some of the new up and coming great pieces of information about things going on with the compensation bonus plan, all kinds of stuff like that. If you are bilingual, tune in on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Spanish session, and enjoy the information that you will be getting. I will see you there next Thursday night. We'll send out some links so that you have great information, great links to know where that Zoom meeting will be. Everybody else, have a great rest of your night tonight. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye. John, thanks so much. Great presentation.